Welcome to Podcast by Default. I'm your girl Kim.
I'm Gems.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jess.
And it's Ange.
And today we are going to be talking about F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. And
Yes.
I don't want to get copyrighted by Nickelodeon,
So just the bit F you.
Thank God we stopped at N because I was gonna sing the bad part.
yeah.
And it's for no survivors.
Actually, no survivors, because if you don't play your cards right with fake friends, then you will have no survivors. And that's what today's podcast is about. Friends.
The N is nemesis.
No, but for real, we kind of want to talk about bad friends.
Because as you're growing up, you're going to experience friend fallouts. Anybody who says they haven't are either extremely lucky or extremely good at lying. So,
Or they're just delusional.
exactly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No matter what.
They
And I
might
think,
they might not know.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Looking snaked.
You ever realize?
You should
like-
question all your friends.
yeah. What are your intentions in this
No.
friendship?
What are your intentions with me?
You ever talk to people and they talk about their friends and you're like, you shouldn't be letting them treat you like this, and they're like, no, it's okay, that's just how we are. And then I'm like, I don't know.
There's no excuses for bad behavior.
Yeah, and I think it's really sad when you think some people are used to it. You know?
It's like, it's more common to think like, oh, I'll have standards for like a romantic relationship or whatever. But then how can you also not hold
Standards
the
for
most
friends.
basic of standards
Yeah.
for friendships? Those are
Honestly.
important too.
Yeah. So I just want to ask you guys a question. Have you been the kind of friend that you would want as a friend?
Awkward silence. I think it's a question that it makes you think deep, because in general we'd be like, yeah, I think I'm a pretty good friend, but then sometimes it makes you think about maybe the times that you've done stuff out of being selfish, or even like a couple times I've been thinking about when I was growing up and you'd be letting everything else influence you, so you do something to a friend that's not that good. I mean, it doesn't mean you're a bad person or a bad friend, but it means that wasn't your strongest friend moment, right?
Or you don't do something that you were actually supposed to do.
Exactly.
Like even like for yourself, like friendships, it's a growing process. It's probably one of the major ways we grow as a person. So you're kind of bound to make mistakes, and like if you don't regret something, like you're really lucky, or you were born wise. I guess I don't know, but like I think sometimes I get too caught up on like in the past, like regrets and mistakes. Like I could have been better.
That's why I think that when people talk about like, oh, I was friends with this person when we were in grade 2 and they were mean to me, so they're horrible, that shouldn't define you though, because a lot of times, like, I'm not saying we ever thought bullying was cool, but like you ever had, there was I don't want to say like, oh yeah, there's a kid that we were so good to bully. No. But like, you ever sometimes follow a trend because everybody else is doing it, and you look back and you're like, why? That was so mean. Something kind of like that. Like, you don't have your wisest moments, but you're growing up, you think that being rude or being bitchy is like a fad.
Yeah, like especially when you're growing up, like if everyone's like laughing, having a good time, you may not realize, and then you look back when you're older, like, oh, that was kind of messed up.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. But I think being able to recognize that at least is good. Like it's somewhat growth.
Yeah.
That's part of like the growing process, I guess. You have to like recognize what you've done to become something else.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think because I have so many long-lasting friendships, I must be somewhat of a good friend.
Yeah.
You are right.
But like, I'm also like super critical of myself too, so I'm probably like, you're probably shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah. What kind of
Part of my friendship.
what kind of things do you expect out of a friend that you try to emulate yourself? Like trying to reword the question.
Honestly, I mean, this might sound so 2020 like, but good vibes. I need to be able to vibe with the person.
That's gonna date this podcast.
Yeah. But like, you need to have like these vibes. You have to be able to have a good conversation with them. Like, they could be really nice and you could be really nice, and just nice people all around. But if you don't have that vibe, you don't have that connection with them where you can have
That
just like
chemistry.
chemistry. Like, you ever met people who you've met like maybe once or twice, and suddenly you guys click.
You instantly click.
That's-
Yes.
Even in the first 5 sentences that are exchanged, you just click and you continue talking, and you can talk for hours and it doesn't feel like any time has passed.
Yeah.
First impressions are important. Yeah.
Those are the things I look for in friendships as well. Because like, if I couldn't talk well with you guys and you guys wouldn't be here, I would kick you guys out of my house. Like,
But also, like, now that I look back on all our friendships, like nothing happened, like yeah, we became friends, like, right away, but, like, I think, like, it took a long time to become as close as we are.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're younger, it's easier to make friends, but keeping friendships is like we're lucky to have stayed as long as we have. Like, there's a lot of us, like more than the 5 here, but even that much is rare for a lot of people, especially when they're like quality friendships, not just acquaintances. You know?
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, I don't know about you guys, but like, especially since I've been getting way busier, even if we don't talk and we don't try to like upkeep things, we understand that one another is busy. And I feel like that's an important part for me. Like, I don't want friends that will expect me to be there for them 24/7. Like, I mean, I'll be there for you when you need me, like 100%, but it's like I don't want the kind of friend that'll get mad at me because I was like away from my phone when they were in a crisis. Like, you have to be understanding too, and I feel like that's basic.
I have to make that joke.
And it's not like we don't talk. We do talk every day.
Regularly.
We send each other memes, and that's our form of communicating. That's our form of keeping up with each other. And that's our form of us letting each other know that you're still my friend.
And it's not forced. It's not like we're like trying to like so desperately to hang on to something that's not like it's natural. Like you find something and you want to share it. You're like, oh, I have to let everyone know.
Yeah.
And we all have a good laugh at it.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've known each other since we were like pretty young, and like we've all gone through a lot of personal changes, but we've been lucky enough to grow together. And I think a lot of that is because we're all pretty understanding of each other.
And we've helped each other grow so much.
I think a lot of these friendships here on this table actually come up to almost 10 years of friendship, but that's pretty cool.
Like, I think it would be... The listeners don't know, but like me and Kim, we've been friends since what, 4th grade?
Yeah,
How old
fourth
were we
grade.
then?
Most
almost
of
12.
year now. Since
Like
elementary
10, over
school.
10 years.
Over 10 years.
Over 10
now.
years. We've been friends with... Like, I felt like I got close with Gems and Jess, like, in 8th grade?
Yeah.
7th
Like,
grade?
I've known
But even
Jen-
then, like we've all known each other.
We've
Yeah.
known
since
each
we
other
were,
for
like,
much longer.
Yeah,
I've known
since,
Jen
like,
And
since,
Chris
like,
was like
grade
kind of new, like
But
We met each other
relatively.
I met everyone in high school.
Yeah.
I met Jess and Angela in
Archery.
archery.
Yeah. So that was a long time ago. A
That
really
was like
long time
grade
ago.
9, 10.
Yeah.
Grade 10.
How old
Grade
are
10
we
is
now?
when we officially like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Approximately 7 years ago.
They say if you make it to 7 years, you're friends forever, and was like,
That
That's
means you
something
guys are
really
stuck with
drastic.
me.
I know.
That's the contract.
I know.
official. You stuck.
That's weird to like think of, like, cause like I feel like like we're all like sort of. I don't want to say we're independent people because like, I know a lot of us are. Like
Yeah.
me, I'm not really independent, but I feel like yeah, we can like leave the group and then just come back. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we'll go MIA for like a little bit and then
Yeah.
like I'm back.
Yeah. You know who, like, one, like, mutual friend that we have, we're probably gonna have her as a guest later on, or maybe as co-host, depending on her status, but our friend Elle, she hangs out a lot with, like, a lot of other people, and, she'll just, like, disappear for a while, won't hang out with us, and then we'll be fine.
She
you know?
makes friends as easy as breathing.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's an
really
extrovert.
social.
She's the definition of an extrovert.
You know what's so
Yeah.
interesting is as soon as we all started university, I just remember we were all talking about, did you guys make friends today? Did you guys make friends today? And I know I made friends within like the first week, but Al made friends on orientation
Yeah.
day. Al was so shocked
She
about
made
that.
so many friends.
I think it was even before, the day before orientation, when we were just going to like navigate our way around and get our like
Oh yeah,
cards
there
and
was
stuff.
like a Facebook group or something.
Yeah, we were trying to like get stuff together right before university started, and she straight up already made friends. And I'm over here like, girl, how? And I think that's something. Wow, like that's a talent. It's a talent myself.
She's open, like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Especially like
Oh,
as
okay.
we're older, like we're more closed off. You know, like it's harder to start a new friendship with somebody.
I've
It's
been
also-
close off always.
Yeah, but, like, one thing about her is that she's also, like, unashamed of
Yeah.
who she is,
Yeah.
and she's proud of who she is.
Which
She's
is
very
great.
confident.
Yeah.
She like you can like be around her and she radiates self-confidence all the time.
And she'll boost your confidence too.
She's gonna hear this.
Elle-
She's gonna be like, my friends are gassing me out.
Well, if you are listening to this,
We got
girl,
you.
you a bad bitch.
You're
I love you.
All right, guys.
Flipping the question around.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like we were talking about good friendships, guys. God, we don't know too
Yeah.
much. It's getting
I know.
I just feel happy when I think of friends.
I know.
Not
But, like,
times-
what are some turn-offs that you guys have about friendships?
I mean,
Our topic today is kind of based on bad friendships. So, what is it that you watch out for and
Lying.
don't like?
lying. Oh my
We
gosh,
all-
lying.
We all don't like lying.
Yeah.
and you know what? It's like not even like lying. Like you tell a little white lie, maybe because in a moment you're not whatever.
You're not in the
It's-
mood to hang out, so you
it's-
say, "Oh, my mom didn't let me doesn't want me to go out today. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I have an emergency. I can't go. It's like that. Okay, whatever. Everyone does
We
that.
all understand it.
Yeah, we all understand that. It's like whatever.
Deliberately lying for attention.
For attention,
Or
for
to start
drama.
If you just love drama and you know drama and you want to share it and spill tea, that's one thing. But when you try
Create
to cause it, yeah.
There's nothing.
Especially to pin some of your friends against other of your friends.
You know what? Nothing.
That sounds familiar.
Nothing angers me more or annoys me more than people who are just so hungry for drama that they'll do absolutely anything for it. They'll tune into things because they only want the drama from it. They don't get me wrong. This is coming from someone who loves to tell stories about my crazy like family and our family drama just because we be crazy. But that's one thing. That's like that has nothing to do with us. I'm not gonna affect anybody, hurt anybody from like this. I'm talking about people who will like I'll put like Jess against Chris and make them fight, and then Jem's gotta like jump in and like I don't know, sumo kick their ass. Like
sumo kick everyone, take
everyone
down, steal their left foot.
Exactly. Like people who do that, you gotta be some next level type of evil. Like I don't understand how you have that much time on your hands.
I think we all kind of experienced this to some degree in high school because we had this one common friend. Let's refer to her as Messy.
She was a mess.
Yeah. It was just like a really toxic friendship because she really liked to lie to get attention. We would try to advise her not to do certain things
And she just
for her well-being, and then she'll do it anyways, and then she'll come crying to us. She would pretend that like her parents were abusive. Like she
pretended her dad had cancer. She pretended she was moving.
She pretended she
they
had
were getting a
depression.
divorce.
You know what? The cancer thing definitely really annoyed me too because like there's so many people out there who are going through deaths. People are dying on a daily basis. Millions of people per year die because
And then
of that.
she's
And
going
you
off
over here
and just
lying
saying
about
it.
that.
And she
Just
did
because
it
you
on
were-
somebody's birthday at
Yeah.
their party
At their
because she
party.
was upset that all the attention was on the birthday girl.
And you know what's funny is that when this friendship broke off, we never had the intention of like breaking it off. We just want to be good friends and advise. But that's what happens when you're not friends with the right people. They don't want to hear it. They're just gonna immediately turn it against you. Why? For what?
And like I don't want to make it sound like we were trying to control her or whatever. Like she would ask us for help for every little thing and we'd give it. And when things went wrong, she'd blame us. And she didn't even do like, oh, I think you should do this. She would do the opposite and then kind of blame us for it or try to pin us against each other.
She stop me kind of thing.
Yeah.
She would use information she knew about us and try to use it against us almost like just secrets that we didn't want to have spilled in a certain way. And I guess she kind of made us feel sorry for her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We were
she-
so concerned.
Yeah, for a really long time we were just trying to like help her out, and it just like it kind of hurt because I really trusted her. I really wanted the best for her. I considered her one of my best friends, and then she used like my concern for her against me, and then that's what really hurt me.
I think what annoyed me especially is that it started off so well. You know, that's how most friendships start off. You're not going to start a friendship on bad terms, but it started off in a great direction. You know, you thought it was like so sweet, so amazing, and who knows if that person still has those qualities, but it's the bad qualities. It's like everyone, I always believe that everybody has some sort of toxic or not great qualities. No one's perfect in this world. Everyone will have something that, I might have something that you find to be toxic or whatever. Toxic is like subjective really. But it's how you let these traits overpower you. If you let that overpower you, then you ultimately do become a toxic person. And that's unfortunately what happened here. And that's what really like, I don't know, that really upset me the most about that situation is because things could have gone so much better. You know, you could still have a friend.
Honestly, for in her case, I don't think so because after we got some context on who she was as a person from people who know her for years, and she's always been like that. She's always been a liar. She's always wanted attention and drama. So I don't think with us she ever had good intentions. She just wanted what she wanted.
That's true.
And like we went like full on for her. Like we really thought she was going through all the emotions. We called kids help phone. Like we were kids ourselves. Like we didn't really know what to do. And like she put us through a lot just because we cared so much. And like you said, she totally used that.
And you know, this is not really to make us seem like, oh, we're the heroes and we're so sad and we're victimizing ourselves. But this is like from our experience. We actually did try to help, right? Like it's not like, oh, you know, we're just gonna tell you all these things, but it's not true. Because you know what, it is. You have like 5 people here trying to straight up say that this is what we went through. That's pretty. I mean, not to make it some sad, wah story, but like, it's a part of growth, and now you kind of know how to react to things differently. You know how to act on things differently.
You know what to watch out for.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, we laugh about a lot of the stuff that happened.
Yeah,
back
we
then.
do.
It's
Now
been a long time.
We are not
Like,
hurt by this anymore.
being accused of stealing someone's man, I laugh at that. I didn't even want that
Being
man.
accused of fighting this bitch. Like, you don't know me, you can't see me, but I'm a pretty, like, built dude, right? And when that lie
He
came
looks
up...
like The Rock.
No, I don't. And when that lie came up, everyone knew it was a lie, because if I were to fight her, she would have been decimated. Her bones would have actually broken.
It's true.
I love being accused of attacking people with paper plates. I love it. I love it.
I remember one of our other mutual friends, like, she was like, oh yeah, we went and we hung out together and he confessed his feelings for me.
Oh my
And
God.
upon asking him, he was like, what?
No,
If you
this is
guys don't
insane.
know who this person, if you guys never met this person and she told you about her love life, you think that she came out up to all the boys that loved before.
Yeah,
But like none of the boys love her.
her.
And the worst thing is she has the same outward qualities as Ella, and she can make friends so easily.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She can make people trust her so
Extrovert.
easily.
The difference is Ella's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ella's
Not
genuine,
a
and
single
she's-
time
She
has she
cares about
lied.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's cried about us before, like when we would like tell her about our problems or stuff, and we would
Mental
open
health.
up. If she ever felt like we didn't care about her, she would cry and she'd be like, hey, I'm here for you. You can always come for me to me for everything. So
And
yeah.
messy was messy because her lies were messy too. Like the one that you just said, like she didn't think we could just ask.
Yeah.
At that point, we already knew though. So if she was telling us, something, we were like,
I just think one of the funniest things was that like those same types of lies, which was like, girl, you can easily find the truth, is that one time Messi had a crush on a dude, and we had to do something where I guess, I don't know, he saw me or he told her, and she had a crush. They were talking. They were in a talking phase. I don't think there's any commitment. That's what she told me though. Who knows if that was a lie? Apparently he told her that, oh, your friend is cute. So she came to me talking about, oh my God, you guys would be so amazing. Like, I need you to invite me to the wedding. Not knowing to me that she went to Ange, Jess, and Chris and told them she's trying to steal my man. Like, I can't believe it. She's so fake. She's ugly. She's fat. I can't believe it. And I'm over here like, girl, you can have him. I don't even know who you're talking about.
Honestly, it's just like there are some people that you have falling outs with, and you just can't really recover from that just because they're either just incompatible with you as a person, or they're just pathological liars. Like, you just have to accept that there's some people that just they're not meant to be your friend.
Yeah.
Like, but I've definitely had like success stories where it's like people that I've drifted away from, and like I ended up being really close friends with them again, or I haven't run into them in a really long time, and then like we catch up and then suddenly like we re-sparked a friendship. Like, those cases do still happen, so don't throw away your friends because maybe they lied to you like once, but do like watch out for warning signs because they do exist.
Be smart about it. That's basically what we're trying to say, because you know what? There are some people, and that's what I was saying about the toxic traits, because again, everybody has something about them that's like not great. No one's perfect. We're not Jesus. Like, we can't be expected to be perfect. So everyone does have a toxic trait, but once you let that overpower you, like this girl, one of this girl's toxic trait was her ability she wanted attention. So she let that overpower her to the point where she became a pathological liar. She would lie to us. She wouldn't care if what she was saying was affecting anybody else because she just wanted the attention. And that is how you let it overpower you. I'm just saying. Like,
She didn't call the cops on us.
Oh yeah,
she did. Oh my God, my mom was gonna fight her mom again.
actually, my mom too. My mom was like really ready to like get.
So, alright. So one thing is like her mom was also insane. So like that's another reason why it was easy to believe when she would say all that stuff about her parents, because like interacting with the mother, you're like, oh no, you poor thing. But basically when we were having our falling out, they knew where I lived. So her mom, and I swear Messi was in the car. I'm pretty sure I saw her. Right? I was upstairs, and it was back when it was just like me and my younger sister who was like in elementary school at the time, and we would just be home alone for a little bit. So there was a knock on the door. I was upstairs, so my sister answered it, and then she comes to me, and then she's just like, do you know where Kim is? Kim is missing. And I was like, what? Like I was freaking out. And she was, and I told her what happened, who's at the door, and she said it was Kim's mom at the door asking if we know where her daughter is. So full of concern for my lost friend. Who, and like, especially in high school, we're so abductable. Like, I go downstairs and it's Messy's mom, and she's like red in the face, like ready to yell at me. Like, she knows I know what Kim's mom looks like. I know what she looks like.
Kim's mom is a queen.
Opposite sides. So anyway, I like completely lose all concern. I know Kim's fine. And I'm just like, what do you want? And she was trying to get the address of another friend because she wanted to go and harass them. And I was just like, no, you're insane. Why would I do that? And she wouldn't let it go. I honestly did not care. She eventually left in a huff. And I told my mom, and my mom freaked out because she's just like, oh my God, this lady tried to like harass my child. Mm-hmm. And she went over to go talk to her, right? So she drove over to her house, and then she saw the police there. And so Messy's mom had called the police to try to get our friend's address. And the police were like,
Yeah.
The police were like, ma'am.
That's just like, I don't know. That turned my head. Like, I don't know if people could be that.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when you told me that day, I was furious. I told my mom. My mom was like, hell no.
All the moms were going to square up.
All the people she could try to be, she's going to be me? And I was like, exactly. I was really mad about that. I was like, first of all, how dare you think out of all mothers you're going to try to be my mother? Excuse me. Second of all, my mom's a queen. Second of all, who the hell calls the cops to go find the address?
About a high schooler.
Yeah, on a high schooler. 411 exists if you use your brain. That's number one. Number two.
Was this the age of Yellow Pages?
Yellow Pages exists.
It's at your local Walmart. It's not that hard.
Basically any other resource, but no, you have to go wham, 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 wham to the police, and the police were like, boo-hoo, bye-bye, ma'am.
Yeah, pretty brutal if I do say so myself. That's definitely like
Dumb.
top one worst experiences when it comes to friendships.
Sums it up.
It was pretty crazy.
I think we, especially because we're so young and we want to know why are we having the police called on us. We know we didn't do anything wrong, but that still gives you some random anxiety, like, what the hell is gonna go down here?
Not to mention, like, you're in high school, and I don't know about you guys, but up to that point, all my experiences with friends were really good. I didn't realize people could be like that. It was so I was like, oh, I just want to help this person out, because literally everybody else that I try to help out, they just genuinely need help. And then all sorts of stuff started to happen, and I was like, I don't know if this person can be helped. You know?
It was really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Well, I've had like a lot of bad experiences with friends beforehand, right? But like even then, I was like, this is some next level.
This was like some Sopranos, Young and the Restless type of drama. I was like not in the mood for it, because I've had some fallouts with friends. Like, if you want me to reflect on, like, I know 1 year in elementary school was extremely eye-opening for friendships, and like that's grade 6. Why did I have to think that was bad? That was bad. But this was like Bollywood movie type of drama. I was like,
that's right.
The police would come singing to my house. Like,
Where's our dance number?
There's our dance number. Call Shah Rukh Khan, Priyanka Chopra, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, like, but that was high school, too. Like, I can think of, like, a more recent falling out that I've had with a separate friend, that you guys probably don't know. But it was just, like, off of something as simple as, like, I can't say pride. It's just that I felt disrespected by something that she said. Long story short, she basically insulted what kind of school I go to, because it's not, like, of the same caliber as her university.
It's not Canadian.
Yeah. And for some reason, it was just, like, I just couldn't help but think, like, why does the status matter to you so much? And it hurt me, because it was like, you're my friend. You shouldn't be saying these things to me. And she made it sound like she had to deal with everything I had to say all the time. Like, she always had to, like, be pushed to the side because of what I wanted, like, growing up. Like, yes, I understand that as a kid, I really was pushy. Like, I was kind of possessive as a kid because I was like, oh, she's my best friend. You can't play with her kind of thing, you know?
I was like that too.
Yeah, but I was also 7 years old, you know? Like, I've grown up from that, and ever since then, like, I would, like, go to, like, her, like, if she had, like, performances or stuff at her high school, like, I would go to those things, like, even though she lived, like, half an hour, 45 minutes away, you know? Like, I really poured myself into the friendship. I didn't, like, try to express myself, like, in gifts, per se, but more, like, being there for you, giving you good advice, if you needed anything, if you ever needed to talk to me, kind of thing. And we never had any bad blood between us up until that moment, and I realized, I was like, if you're really my friend, how come you have to belittle me for something like that? You know, like, if you care about status that much, then, like, I'm not the person that you should be sharing all your things with, like, that we should be, like, hanging out as much as we do, because I don't, you know? Like, we all get to where we need to be, like, at a different pace, and I just am going to a different school, and that's totally fine, you know?
I mean, it's harder when it's an old friendship, too. I think it's, like an old relationship when people are together a long time. They're like, well, we've made it this far. Is it a waste to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just there's, like, a lot of history, a lot of emotion. But you have to respect yourself and look at what it is. And
and it wasn't the only time that it happened. More recently, I had tried to rekindle the friendship, and it just, like, didn't work out. Like, I realized what kind of character that she had. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just generally saying that we're just not compatible as people.
Or that she wasn't good for you.
Yeah, she wasn't good for me, especially at the state that I was in when it all happened, because it was really recent, and, like, I've been trying to, like, piece together who I am, like, what do I want out of my life, like, what kind of values do I have for the people around me as well, and who do I want to surround myself with. So it was a really, like, it's still a very, like, complicated time for me, and I didn't want someone that would be there that would just, like, confuse me further, make it harder for me to, like, grow up, basically. Not to say that she's a bad person. Like, again, like, I don't wish any, like, bad things upon her. It's just that, like, we're not ever gonna be as close as we used to be when we were, like, 13 years old, and that's okay, I guess. Even though we were friends for, like, really, a really long time. Like, 15 years is a long time to be friends with someone. But you have to know when to stop, you know? But with that, we're going to go on break. We'll be right back in a couple minutes or seconds, I guess. So
maybe after the commercials.
Stay tuned.
Do you drink water every day? Really? How much? That's all? You should be drinking more. This podcast has been sponsored by water. Keep yourself refreshed.
So refreshing.
So sometimes there are friendships that just don't work out because of circumstances in your life. I know recently my life took me on a really hard left turn, and I felt off my normal lifestyle, right? And there was this friendship that with this person, they just didn't really understand what I was going through, and they couldn't put themselves in my shoes. So for the sake of me and to get me back on my feet, I had to cut this person off for the time being. Mm-hmm. Because you when you want to get yourself back on your feet, you don't really need people that are just going to drag you down and make it harder for you.
Yeah, that's kind of like, it's important to know when you should be cutting somebody off.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to preemptively cut people off.
Yeah. No. Like, where do you draw the line?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one of the biggest questions, because some people, I mean, everyone's different, you know. Some people are really impulsive, like, as soon as drama happens,
Like, you're
okay,
gone.
like, are we done? I'm done. And I could be like that sometimes too when drama gets too, like, I'm just not in it anymore. I'm too old for this type of thing. So a lot of times when, like, fallouts happen or arguments happen and it takes a very negative turn, not that I don't value the person or value the friendship, I'm just kind of like ready, like, if this is gonna be worse than it needs to be, I'm not in the mood for it.
And if this is gonna be a constant, we don't have the time or the energy.
Yeah.
We're university students. We can't deal with this.
You only live one life. How do you want to spend all your life in conflict, or do you just want to just cut the bad people out of your life and just move on?
That's the thing. Like, you need to try not to, when emotions are high, not to act like cutting people off or drastically. It's kind of like, what do you have left after the dust settles?
Yeah.
Is it like, what is it compared to what it was, and is it something that is worth saving? You know, like I've had friendships where it's just like there's a lot of love for that person, and it was a great friendship, but just too much has happened where you don't look forward to talking to them anymore. It's not what it was, and you don't think it could be, so you have to move on.
And there is such thing as missing the person and missing the friendship, but not being part of it, because you know what, you can miss something as much as possible, but if it's not good for you now, it's not good for you now. You know, it's almost like, it's like when people talk about the honeymoon phase, you're gonna miss that, but that's not gonna come back. That's the same thing with friendships, unless you guys really work on it, which is possible. But like, come on, if a friendship has gone sour, you can't expect it to be like what it once was. You know.
I've definitely had friendship like that as well, where we were really close, but it's just like you kind of turn the other cheek sometimes. You know, they're your friend, you want to work things out with them, so you just like, you turn around and you pretend that you're not there, like you're not like paying attention to the bad things that they're doing. But then something really bad happens, and then it just piles up, and then you realize, wait, like, I don't think this is a very good place for me anymore. So you realize, okay, it's time to cut you off.
And if you don't cut them off, it will start taking a toll on you.
I think that's the most important thing. It's got to be like, is this what I need right now?
I think like that's like a main issue with like long-term friends, is like people you've had, like you've known forever, like you have so much already, like so much of a foundation and base there, like it's so hard to start new. So that's kind of like when you start to like ignore like the small things until it kind of just piles up.
Especially if you've been friends for like years, you talk every day. All of a sudden you're like, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore, and then you just stop cold turkey. It's like a breakup almost. Like
it feels like something's missing.
Because you talk every day, like you open up to them for everything. It takes a while for you to adjust and like going back to what you were saying earlier.
To mourn, because you're losing a person.
You can miss it, but also you have to understand when you should go back and try to fix it, and when it's like it's over, you know.
And it's not to blame anyone. Like sometimes like you were saying, sometimes it's just people can't understand certain things, and it sucks, it hurts a lot, but at the same time, like you, like that's just them.
You have to stop being friends with a person because you need to get back on your feet.
Exactly. And like you can still like be civil towards each other, you're not gonna hate each other. It's just like that's just, people grow. You know, you have to grow.
You can't keep making yourself miserable because of like a fond memory or like a good history, you know? If it's not what it is.
On that note though, have you guys ever had experiences like where you think that you could possibly fix a friendship, you know?
Oh, we've all had
so.
it.
Because like I have one particular friendship, the one I was talking about just now. Recently, like, they came back in touch with me and they apologized for everything that they did to me, but also like I felt like too much had happened and I couldn't really go back. I did say like stuff like, okay, it's okay, like we're fine, like we're cool. I don't want to have any bad blood, like I just want to be cool, you know. I but also like it's still pretty fresh and I'm still kind of hurting over it. So I don't think I could see you as a friend anytime soon, and I don't think we could ever get that close ever again. So like that's kind of my experience, but also like I think that it's very you have to know which friendships are worth like rebuilding, you know.
And also you gotta look at like what went wrong. And like, because we've had a friendship where like it seemed like it was over, but then something like fundamental changed in that situation. Sometimes another person, or you could have a toxic person in your life, and getting rid of that kind of allows you to mend things with people. Like, I don't really know how to explain the situation.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Even the person you might be having the fallout with, you know what I mean? There could be...
They could have a parasite.
There can always be a parasite somewhere in the situation, whether it's on our side, their side, any side, that can always be affecting it and causing the...
even if that parasite isn't a person, even if it's like an aspect like an insecurity or something,
or a job, or
mental health,
if they're willing to acknowledge it and like, you know, work with it,
try to make a change, put the effort in on both sides.
On both sides, for sure.
Yeah, like, can't just be one side.
Nobody is innocent.
Not to make it sound weird or anything. Sometimes it's good to have an intervention.
Oh,
You know,
True.
you have to sit down with the person that you're talking to and be like, what is going on? Do you need to tell me something? Are you doing okay?
Do I need to tell you something?
Yeah.
You have to explore your side and their side and really put all your feelings on the table and see if at the end of the day you can salvage the friendship.
It's healthy. Like that's how you preserve and like keep things growing. Like you have to be honest with each other. And like I'm not gonna point out everyone's pet peeves and stuff, but like if there's an actual issue that's weighing on you and it's holding you down, it's gonna affect. It's affecting you, and eventually it's gonna affect the way you treat that person. It's just gonna build up, you know.
Yeah, like you can't have like a victim complex, like, oh, they do this and it bothers me or whatever. Like you have to know like what you're doing wrong. What if they're doing something you don't like? Is it something like you have to talk about, or do you just have to get over it? You know?
Yeah. It's kind of like back to like the original question, like, do you think that you've been that kind of friend that you think that you need? I don't think I really answered that, and I think that in the past couple of years in particular, I've really learned the proper way to be a friend, you know, and like being patient, not expecting everything from them, because after all, you guys are just friends. And also just generally like understanding like people are going through things. Sometimes they don't want to tell you about it, and that's okay, you know. So I guess it's like back to like the whole, do you want to let it go, or is it something that like you guys can work through together? I guess the kind of friend that I want is like the kind of person that's like, you would understand it, kind of, but to a certain extent. I understand if I'm being unreasonable, you know. I feel like I'm at that point in my life where I can get if I'm being unreasonable, but also sometimes you need like a wake-up call from somebody, which is why it's good to have an intervention.
And I think like you don't always have to understand everything about somebody, but you have to respect it. As long as you're able to do that.
Then you can still maintain the friendship.
That's probably like I don't know if we talked about it earlier before this podcast or the other podcast, but like we talked about like just like how like we've been friends for a while, and like everyone's so different.
Oh yeah.
I think like one of the main reasons why we can get like why we've been friends and get along so well is because like we're all so different, but like we all have like, a basis understanding of each other, you know what I mean? Like even if we can't like recognize like completely like put ourselves in each other's mindset, like we still like acknowledge it and respect each other.
Yeah, for sure.
We all bring something different to the table, but it is our table.
Yeah.
Our table is absolutely iconic. Round.
This one is an oval.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have.
This one's more like a
round edges. Okay, we're getting off track.
You guys can't see the table.
We're talking about interior design now, guys.
Interior design by default.
So, kind of like going off of everything else that we've been saying, do you guys, have you noticed any changes in what you were looking in friendships over the years? Like, how have they evolved?
You know what's interesting is I think when I was making friends, because again, we all started becoming friends at a young age. So to say that when we became friends, I don't really know. Like, I don't think I knew what I was looking for in a friendship. I think I was more like, this person seems cool. Like, let's talk. Do I like talking to them? And I think in a way it's almost similar, but now it's like on a different level. Like before it was like, can we talk and can we hang out at lunch? I know also one thing in high school is you also want a friend to have lunch with when the rest of your friends don't have the same schedule. Yeah. So that was another thing. Elementary school is like, you want friends at recess, which sounds like you're almost, okay, it sounds like, oh, I need these friends because I have nobody else. But like, that develops obviously into bigger friendships because your priorities, what are your priorities in high school and elementary school? Not much. But now you want someone, like as an adult, you kind of want friends who are fun, you know, someone you, again, vibe with, someone you get along with, someone you click with, have chemistry with. And you want someone who can, in a way, stimulate your mind in a way you can have conversations with, you can have true connections with, someone you can depend on. I feel like it's a lot more complex now because we have different needs, we have different lives, priorities. Like, it's not just recesses at 10:30 and who's gonna play kickball with me
Go on.
or soccer, baseball, because we're in Canada, guys. But yeah,
I feel like I was also more able to just like stand for things that I don't really care for back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like tolerate other people's behaviors when I was younger.
oh
Yeah.
See, like when I met like you guys and like I met a lot of them our current friends in grade 6. And, like, the current year before that, I had, like, a huge falling out. I had, like, no friends for a year. So my goal was to have somebody at recess, have anybody. and
Default.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was just wanted to throw myself into any friendship.
Recess
but, like,
friends by default.
Yeah, like, growing up, though, I learned to have, like, standards for friends, too. And obviously, like, I kept them, like, they weren't, like, I'm not saying they're bad. They were great.
But your priorities do change.
Yeah.
Instead of wanting someone who's there with you for recess or for lunch, you want someone who's there with you through the highs and lows of life and understands you at a very deep emotional level.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, like it is getting kind of hard to make friends. Yeah, also because like our standards have changed and like it's hard to connect with people, especially because now we just want we want an instant connection. You know, we don't want to have to go through the process of like having to know each other for years and then like finally becoming close and then having more years of that. You know, like we want an instant connection, but also because like we've all known each other for so long that like it's hard to like just even like open up and say hi to someone new. You know what I mean? Like we've grown sometimes. I feel like too comfortable with each other.
I remember I've told you guys like I don't need new friends because I got you guys.
Yeah,
you know?
And we're a pretty big group.
But it's also like I really shouldn't think that way. Like you guys are awesome, but also I really should be more open to making
I'm
new
the same way,
friends.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's just it's so hard now. Honestly.
Personally, I don't think I should be more open, but I do know I need to be more open because I have in all my years of university, I'm in my 4th year, I haven't made one new friend because I'm not a social person. I don't like opening up. Whenever someone new tries to approach me, my walls instantly come up and I go on the offensive. Like, what do you want from me? What do you know about me?
Why do you want to fight me?
See, like that makes sense because I remember in first year I was just so desperate for friends. I made friends with I tried to make friends with people. I wouldn't see them the next class. We wouldn't end up sitting together or whatever. And once I made a friend, and she just ended up leeching off me for notes and like rides to Walmart. Yeah, I had to cut her off.
Friends are like that.
Yeah,
you have to watch out.
They're all snakes.
For me, I just don't like getting to know people because it's like every single friend that I have, it has been work, and like I have to be comfortable with them. Like, okay, I know that you like me. I don't have to be like anxious. Like, oh my god, when is she just gonna cut it off because she secretly hates me or whatever?
Sometimes I still feel like you guys hate me.
Don't know. Did you tell her?
That's why I'm kind of grateful.
I'm sorry, I had to tell her.
That's why I'm kind of grateful for the fact that like the friends that I have made in university, that it's always been really chill. Like they've been nice. We were able to connect. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah,
I'm very happy about that. So like very grateful for them as well as you guys. It was like
me
crazy.
A long time to make friends in university. Like it took me like a year and a half of university before I finally made friends. But the friends that I made, like they were the kinds of friends that I remember I was in a car accident last April, and one of my friends, she picked me up from the accident because she was close by, and she let me stay at her house, and then she drove me to the hospital just in case, like to get me checked up in case I had like whiplash or something from the accident. And it was just you know, I want those kinds of people in my life, you know, and I'm happy that I didn't just like rush into that kind of a friendship, like just all out of nowhere. And we really developed that when I didn't even expect it. I just like wanted to be part of their group, and then I ended up being friends with them, and then now we're like super close every time. Like I always go over to their house and stuff like that. So it's really nice to experience that even when I'm older, like and like meeting people later on instead of like the people that I've grown up with. Obviously, we're gonna be friends with you guys, so it's nice to have like knowing people from other backgrounds too.
And the problem with getting to know people at our age is we're all at different stages of getting to know ourselves.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
So some people are extremely immature and some people are extremely mature. And there's just, it's very difficult to find a balance between the two where you yourself are at and you can vibe with someone.
Also, like kind of going off of that, like there's different sides to ourselves as well. So it's hard, like at work, like I try to make friends, but like they only see one part of me, and so like it doesn't feel like they're a real friend because they don't know all the other sides, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, it's,
You know, like going back to Shrek.
I'm an onion, all right?
Or an onion, layers, you know?
Well, that about making friends and like talking to friends and stuff. On that topic, I do have a question for you guys. What now, if you were to make friends, or when you do attempt to make friends, what are your tactics for doing so? Because a lot of people have different ones. Like, how do you approach it?
Every single friend I've made, I've never approached.
Well, like, how do you?
Approached me.
Well, not really about like going up to the person, but when you do start talking to the person,
So
you
Jess is a friend magnet. That's what I was gonna say.
well, like not really physically approaching them, like go up saying hi, how are you?
Except
But
I will never do that.
Yeah, it's more like when you are talking to somebody and you are, I guess trying to initiate a friendship. Like, what is your approach for doing that? What are your tactics? Like, I know for me.
I just start talking to them.
Yeah. For me, I always find something like common to complain about. Does that make sense? It's like a common enemy.
See, I'm worried to do that, like at work, because then I'm like, I don't want to trash talk someone else.
That's true.
No,
But like everyone else does it, so I'm like, it's so hard not to.
Yeah.
See, like at school, I know the one thing you can be like, oh my gosh, assignments are killing me, or assignments are kicking my ass. Like things like that, suddenly it's like an instant conversation starter. Or like, I know I tried to do that when I first started working at work too, and I would be like, oh my god, I'm so tired, or assignments are killing me. Same thing, but I know a couple people I feel like take things like that and they come misconstrued too, because they're like, oh my god, new people are always complaining. No,
so whiny.
we're trying to make friends with you. Like some people do, but like there's always different approaches. But like, what would you guys say is like? Do you guys try to find like a common enemy, common interest?
It's hard because like I think a lot of it depends on like the mood that you're in. Like it takes a lot of energy to be social, especially for non-social people.
And also like
I'm exhausted afterwards.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like, are you at school? Are you at work?
Yeah.
What face do you have on right now? Right?
It does take me a lot of energy to put my walls down, put the moat down,
Yeah.
and let people walk over the alligator infested water.
Yeah.
Unless Chris, he backs out last minute, starts going it out.
I know.
People are walking. Kind of like when
the gingerbread man.
kind of like in Shrek 2 when they're holding on for dear life on the chains.
Yeah.
I think everyone.
That's what we had to do.
I think
That's what we're doing right now.
he's still rolling it up, guys. We're trying to get him to open it up.
Yeah, you guys
Why
are
won't
lucky.
you guys stay out?
I don't know, you guys are lucky. You get to see Chris like opened up voluntarily.
Oh yeah, this is rare.
Yeah.
You see him on the streets, I feel like he'll probably be like, "Screw you, bye."
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like we're all kind of
so
like
you hear
that.
him on the streets.
Do not approach. It is not safe. Beware.
Caution.
Yeah, but like I feel like a lot of people are like that though. To be fair, like you don't want to let people in too close unless you really know them.
I feel like that's a habit I have though. Sometimes, depending on once I get like those 2 seconds of a good vibe with somebody, or not even a good vibe, just like I feel like they're not judging me, I start becoming an open book for some reason. But not like I'm gonna tell you my address or whatever. It's more like, oh my gosh, like, yesterday this happened. And I don't know, I hate that about myself sometimes because I'm like, we just met. What am I telling you about my day?
Yeah, see, I'm not quick to make friends, but if someone's talking to me, like, and I feel bad, like, I want to keep talking to them, I don't like silence, so I'll just tell them anything and everything about myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind silence, and I think that's a huge difference between me and most people. That very awkward silence in the first stage of early friendship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that. I don't really care for that. And for
That's
a lot of people,
interesting,
it kills them. So they just try to keep on talking, try to make conversation. And I'm not someone who likes talking too much with someone when I first meet them.
I think I'm similar in terms of like I know when I don't want to continue a conversation anymore. Like if I'm not super close to you, I don't have to have this conversation with you. I'm just gonna walk away.
I don't know. I feel like that sign, like when you can have a silence and it's not awkward, that's how you know like you become like
That's true.
good.
I can't
close
do
friends.
that. I'm like, oh
Really?
no, they're bored.
I feel that. I do feel like
I mean, you do bore me sometimes.
Don't say that, bro. We hang out too much.
I am like that sometimes depending on who I'm with. I'll be there and they'll be like silent. I'll be like, oh crap, I gotta say something. But then there's other times I'll be even like people I'm not close with, like even some of my coworkers. Every now and then we'll be like on a break and I'll just be sitting there and they'll be on the phone and we'll look at each other, say hi, talk for 2 minutes, and then we'll like be silent. I'm like, I'm oddly comfortable with you. What is this? And then we'll start talking again. But I just don't feel the need to like, I have to have this conversation. We have to start talking. Like,
But I can still relate to the feeling.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Like, at least, like, maybe the first interaction, I'll be like, okay, and then you just, like, kind of twiddling your fingers, staring at them. You're kind of stuck in the same place. You don't want to, like, just leave, but, like, yeah, I've definitely had those moments before.
The worst is I've hung out with people outside work before, and like it was great. We had a great time, whatever, it was fun. And then you go back to work and like it's still fun, but then like the week after it's just like you haven't seen each other in so long, and so it's like kind of back to stage one, and you're like, well, is it just a one night stand? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
I've
had those.
Especially when I first started working there, because it would be not really when I first started. Now it's more like that.
Yeah.
The few people I will work with, and I don't talk to many people. But when I do talk to them, we're like, hey,
just so you know, Kim and I work together.
Oh, yeah, we work at the same place. Yeah, we probably should have mentioned that. Yeah. But yeah, a few people I'll talk to be like, oh, hey, like, how are you? And a couple shifts we'll like talk together. Then I won't be scheduled for like 2 weeks straight. And by the time I go back, it's like, how do you do?
Yeah.
How are you? Like, it's hard to...
Very well, and yourself.
You start going all 18th century, man.
My job is a little different because there's only like 10 people on staff. And like the people that have been there, like for me,
and you're only in Canada, like what, 2 months of the year?
Yeah.
Actually, I
2
mean,
weeks.
aggregately like 4 or 5 months, 5-6 months, because you forget summer's like 4 months. But
Wait, you're here all summer?
yeah, I'm usually here all summer. But
She likes to go to Bermuda Triangle for fun, though, guys.
yeah, yeah.
She
Like
does.
it depends on what school I feel like going to. You know, it's my mood. Anyways, so for my job though, like they always take me when I'm on break, like summer vacation, and during the winter I come back. So I've been there like on and off for maybe going on 3 years this year, and the people that have been working there for about as long as me or like longer than a year, like we talk pretty well. Like we'll catch up on things and then we'll go back as if it's like normal, just because there's only 10 of us that work there. So of course, like whenever we do work, we see each other all the time. It's not like you guys, or it's like sometimes you're scheduled, sometimes you're not.
Like 90 people in our store.
It's really easy to make friends in my store, but also it's awkward if you don't make friends with your coworkers, because then you're stuck with them. So
I
pro and con.
find it hard to make friends when I work. I work at like Pop House.
Pop
House.
She makes Coke, guys.
Yeah.
Coke and
Pop-up
chicken.
warehouse sales, right?
Yeah.
And those people, like, they're all like in their 30s, and or a lot of them like only speak like with the people that they already know that are also in their 30s. Like it's a lot of, they get hired together people, so they've already got siblings, and then everyone's kind of divided by race too. So I'm stuck with the Spanish speaking people, and I can't speak Spanish. Or even when I'm cashier, like they're really nice, but also if I'm at work, I can't relax. I'm at work.
I'm like that
and then
too.
they'll tell you like, have a seat, have a coffee.
Like how? Like how are you
getting
acting
paid
like
for this.
yourself out?
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I came with you one day, and I was just so paranoid the whole time. I was like, I had a thing, and I just remember one of the ladies was like, "Why don't you guys relax?" Like she was like really like chill. I was like, but
like,
they might yell at me.
all the
I
people
was
are
scared.
so nice there.
Yeah,
but,
everyone's so nice, but you're always just so scared of
the
doing
number
something
one
wrong.
problem is
Yeah,
that
it's
they're
hard
not
to
my
make
age
friends.
and I can't relax.
Yes.
Ever. No. I worked with Elle before, and she's like so bright and happy, and she always wants to talk to me. If it's work, I'm like walking away from her. I'm like, this is work setting. Back away.
You worked with me and Gems before too,
Yeah.
and I remember the one time the two of us get scheduled for a shift. It's your last day. I will never get over that. That was like ironic as hell. The exact same shift too, from beginning to end, like same 4 hour. And I just remember like the only time we really got a chance to like chill, or not even chill, but like be like all the other coworkers where like they like full clothes and stuff, was literally right before our shift ended, and I just remember we were both paranoid as hell because our manager kept walking in and out, and we're just like, they're gonna see us talking, they're not gonna schedule us again. Even though it's our last day, they're not gonna schedule us again.
And every other one was like, I would start when you left.
Yeah.
So I'd be the one to tell you, like, your shift's over.
Yeah.
Go home.
Working with friends sounds like a trip.
Oh yeah.
But
It is.
yeah, otherwise, like, it really depends on what environment you're in when you're trying to make friends. Work is totally different from school. I found it easier in school, in my
I find it
humble
harder in
opinion.
school because
Really?
I don't talk to people.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I talk to the people that I have to talk to, and then I make friends with the people I have to talk to, just because we just end up being kind of the same kind of person. You know?
Do you think it kind of like depends on your program as well? Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
do your classes like have like a lot of, like class discussions?
All my
Like,
classes
No.
are
Yeah.
lectures.
No, I don't have
and
those.
So how do you make like
Okay.
like, you have like lab partners or
Yeah, I made
that's
friends with
probably-
lab partners and
Yeah.
stuff, but otherwise not really. But I know the kinesiology students at my school, wherever it may be at the time that I want to go to school. My kinesiology friends, like, they know everyone in their program because they have to do group work. Like, it's a mandatory part of their curriculum. But like for me, I'm in psychology. Like, no one like really talks to anyone. Like, I don't know I know one person. I just made a friend. One person in my program. I'm in third year, second semester, and I just made a friend in my program, and it's
See, I have friends in university because everyone here, Sans, Angela here, go to my university.
Yeah.
And I've known them.
not
for a while.
including each other.
Okay, so
Yeah.
not including each other, I have like familiar faces. Like my program, a lot of the same faces are in rotation. So there's people like I know, and like I can be like somewhat friendly with them. And I've had a lot of like, you know, those friendship one night stands, or it's like, oh, it's great for that night, and then the next night it's like, oh,
They're
like,
hanging
now
out with
what?
someone else.
Yeah.
Like, what a cheater.
Yeah. I thought we had something. Okay.
I'll never get over how I made friends with the people in my program. It's weird. It's almost like, now I'm still not in that level of closeness though, like that I am with you guys or like my other friends from university, because I feel like that it just developed differently. But I just remember half of us never showed up to our tutorials, and when the one class we show up, we're like, let's just go to get this like attendance mark. We never showed up the entire like semester, and this was like, I think this was like this was probably about 5 weeks into the semester. But it's like we knew we weren't missing much, and we knew that if we lost the mark, it wasn't going to affect our grade gravely. But the one time that we all decided to show up that day, the teacher's like, okay guys, we're doing group work on the readings. Did any of us do it? No. So all of us bonded over laziness and rushing and trying to figure out what to say. And now we're like,
really good friends.
yeah, now we're pretty tight up to now. Yeah. Some crazy adventures.
I get that. I feel like when you're stressed out or like in like small situations like that, it kind of like forces you to work together.
Yeah.
Like even like in high school, or like
Stress
you
brings
did like
people
an
together.
English class in high school, you did like little group things and you discuss something and like
Yeah, you know,
You feel closer.
it's fun to have friends in your class when those friends show up. So I'm saying, I was so happy in 12th grade. It took like 4 years for me to finally have a class with Gems over here, and she never showed up.
that's another reason why I struggle making friends at school. I'm never there at school.
Yeah. Wow. I think we're running out of time, guys. Yeah.
So
a great
let's
talk.
let's try to end this on a more happy note.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite person here?
Who's your favorite?
Whoa.
Me.
We said happy note. We never said beef note. Alright. Okay.
All right,
Heidi,
even though she's
what's
upstairs.
Ma'am, I am right here. I should be your favorite.
Yeah, I think we can all agree Kim's sister is her favorite.
Okay.
Y'all didn't meet her yet, but if you did, you would be subscribed right away.
understand.
Like, you'd know.
On a happier note. How should we end this on a happier note? At least so it
We
doesn't
love
seem
Kim's
so...
sister. That's a happy note.
That is a okay, fine. They all love my sister, but not as much as I love my own sister.
Question for you guys, though. What kind
Do you
of
like
bad
your sister?
We already know it. The answer is yes.
Yeah. But what kind of bad experiences have you had with friends? Let us know.
In
Did
the
you dump
comments
cake batter on
below.
their head?
Yeah.
Did you fight them? Did you break their bones? Let me know.
Did you call the police on them? Let
I've
us
bitten
know.
a friend before. We are no longer friends.
She dared you to.
Right? Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have. That's all there. Wow, guys. You see, friendship is really... this is a toxic environment. I can't
Yeah.
even speak.
Got my tongue tied.
That's all the time we have today on Podcast by Default. So tune in next time to hear more about anything by default.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.